Today, for the first time, someone will ask an official question in Ontario's Queen's Park House chambers while speaking an Indigenous language. Sol Mamakwa, the member of provincial parliament for the riding of Kiiwetinoong and deputy leader of the Ontario NDP, will have 10 minutes to pose a question in Oji-Cree. That's his first language. It is a historic moment in the fight for Indigenous language rights in Canada. And joining us from Toronto on this momentous day is Sol himself. Good morning and welcome.
Good morning, and thanks for having me, Anne-Marie.
So I'm a longtime follower of you on your social media feed, and I always enjoy it very much. So I'm glad to get to talk to you today. What a moment. Your mother and other family members and friends, they are going to be in attendance to hear this today. How does it feel to be able to speak your first language in this setting?
You know, Anne-Marie, it's so unreal. It's so, I cannot believe it. But it brings warmth to my heart, what I'm going to do today, because I never thought I would be doing this. My mom will be here, my family will be here, and then the elders from my home First Nation, they're all here, and then other leaders from the other areas are here, and I think and it's there's about 100 people that will be here to witness in person, and it's not something that that I anticipated that I'd be doing, but I am here, and I really appreciate that bringing the story to this place, and so I'm going to have 10 minutes before question period where I will be able to speak my language, and then
what will you say?
I think I want to be able to acknowledge the people that that lost their language. There's so many of us, so many Indigenous people that lost their language because they weren't allowed to speak their language in Indian residential schools. They were never allowed. There's others that that have lost their language. There's young people that have lost their language, and but also I want to be able to acknowledge as well, the carriers of the language. And I think the carriers are the ones that are still speaking, no matter whatever colonial institutions that they were trying to get rid of the language, get rid of us, and and that's what it means for me. And I think I want to be able to acknowledge that and pave a way so our languages don't become extinct. So that's very important.
I always find it very powerful, moving even, to hear Indigenous language spoken in those spaces. When you talk about the legacy of residential schools, the mandate of which was to kill the Indian in the child, to now have an Oji-Cree language spoken out loud from the seat of power in this province, it really is quite a moment. All of this came about from some planning that you did with Government House Leader Paul Calandra and members of the Progressive Conservatives. You are part of the Ontario New Democratic Party. What kind of hope does this rule change give you for cooperation between all the parties when it comes to important issues like this?
I think when we work together, when we listen to each other, we can make a lot of changes. And I think that's one of the things that happened with the Government House Leader is, when I talked to him about, this is what happens, and we didn't agree at the beginning, but I think when we found out the details of the standing orders, like that I'm not allowed to speak, it took them 1 week to be able to make changes. And I think, and I allowed it for, for 2 months for the broadcasting to be able to plan out on how it's going to roll out when we actually get on the floor today at 10:30. And the unique thing about it today too is it's my mom's birthday.
Oh.
She's turning 79, and so. I'm going to wish her happy birthday when I'm on the floor in my language.
I was thinking, I can see the smile on your face, how excited you are. And I was thinking about your mom, and you talk about language carriers. I imagine that your mom is that as well. Has she told you what it means to her, not just because it's her birthday, but because it is the language that her son is speaking from the floor of Ontario's Queen's Park?
Yeah, she doesn't know how important my life and my language, my identity is, on the way she raised me. And it was her and my late dad, they're the ones that took me out on the land. And that's where I was able to keep the language. There was no way that the residential school would be able to take away the language, because it was already, from growing up, it was already instilled in there. And I think that's, you know, and she knows that. I told her that, and I think that's something that, you know, she's very happy. She's very happy to be here, and so she's gonna enjoy this.
You know, it makes me think of that saying, we are our ancestors' wildest dreams, and I think you are living that today. Sol Mamakwa, thank you so much for joining us today. Look forward to hearing from you later.
Okay, thanks for having me. Have a good day. Minagishiga, good day.
Good day to you, too.
Hey, thanks for watching. If you liked this, be sure to subscribe here, or you can check out more Your Morning videos right here.